For example, if a student who wants to get into MIT, let's say. Now, MIT recognizing AP courses, it's equivalent to doing one semester of calculus course in a university.
So what exactly are AP exams and AP credit scores?
So APs are basically advanced placement program, and these are courses which are meant for academically prepared students who can tackle university level coursework in high school.
How does it benefit the student?
In India, we have various curriculums. We have international curriculums like IB, A-levels, and we have our normal national curriculums like CBSE, ICSE, state boards. Now, a student starting an international curriculum is already having that kind of a rigor, is already having that kind of a competence level. But a student in a national board, if they take APs, they benefit out of it. Besides doing the national curriculum, they can just pick up the courses right from grade 9, do it along 10, 11, 12, one course per year or two courses per year, but that makes them stand out in the university application process, not just for admissions, but basically for credits and advanced placement.
Hi and welcome to the Manav Vaishnav podcast, and this is your host Richa Dhirian. This is a space where we talk about things that matter in education, in society, and the world we're living in. In today's episode, we'll be talking about something that every student might have wished in his lifetime at least once, a genuine good head start for a good college. What if I could tell you that one crucial step that you take in class 11th and 12th could actually accelerate your career, and that decision could be the AP exam or the advanced placements exam. And today we are joined by someone who knows this space better than anyone, Miss Meenakshi Kachru-Chatta, Head of India, South and Central Asia at the College Board. Ma'am, we welcome you to the podcast.
Thank you.
So, ma'am will be guiding us today into what exactly AP exam is, how it works, and why it's something that you should take once in your lifetime. So, let's get started. Ma'am, so what exactly are AP exams and AP credit scores?
Sure. Thank you. First of all, thank you for hosting me here. We are proud partners of Manav Vaishnav University institutions. So APs are basically advanced placement program, and these are courses which are meant for academically prepared students who can tackle university level coursework in high school. And then they get credits and advanced placement for doing these courses. This is what AP is, but the benefit is that they can stand out in the university admissions, but also get credits and advanced placement that makes them graduate early or skip the courses and go to advanced level courses.
Okay. And then how does it benefit the student as compared to a student who has not taken any AP exam? How does it benefit the student that has taken AP exam?
So for this, I'll just set up a context because in India, we have various curriculums. We have international curriculums like IB, A-levels, other international boards are also coming now. Australian board is coming to India. And we have our normal national curriculums like CBSE, ICSE, state boards. Now, a student starting an international curriculum is already having that kind of a rigor, is already having that kind of a competence level. But a student in a national board like CBSE or ICSE, if they take APs, they benefit out of it. First, because of AP's flexibility. So a student in a CBSE course, besides doing the national curriculum, they can just pick up the courses right from grade 9, do it along 10, 11, 12, one course per year or two courses per year, more than enough. But that makes them stand out in the university application process, not just for admissions, but basically for credits and advanced placement. One is that. So if you get a credit, then you can graduate early. How does it help you? It helps you in saving time, energy, and money. So it doesn't pinch your pocket any longer then. For example, if a student who wants to get into MIT, let's say. Now, MIT recognizing AP courses, they recognize AP Calculus, AB, BC, both. So if a student has done AP Calculus AB, scored a 5 on that, it's equivalent to doing one semester of calculus course in a university, okay? And a BC is equivalent to doing one entire year of calculus course in a university. So they get those many credit points and they can graduate early. They don't have to sit in those classes again. They can skip those classes and go to any other class. So that's how it helps. And honestly, even if you're not going overseas, or even if you're not going to any Indian university that accepts AP, but you've still done an AP, it hones lots of your skills. It adds on to your personality developments, hones your critical thinking, time management, presentation skills, and there are subjects like AP Seminar, AP Research. So if you're doing AP Seminar, you're doing a project-based skilled work, which is a university-level project. So look at how the universities take it. When they see an AP on your transcript, whether you are an IB school or an AP, a CBSE school or an A-level school, but when the universities see AP on your transcript, they know that you are committed to doing a university-level coursework. And if you've taken the exam, then you're even more diligent towards it and you're ready for the university. So that's some of the benefits that AP has.
Understood. But ma'am, I have one question to it. So basically, class in 11th and 12th are something students have a lot to work on. For example, in class 11th, students start, sitting for various exams, and they also start preparing for competitive exams. So why should people, or why should a student appear for AP exam? How would it be not too much for the student to handle?
Sure. So first of all, AP is not only meant for grade 11 and 12. Like I said, students in India do APs from grade 8, but I would say 8 is a little too early. Grade 9 is okay. So we have a course called as AP Pre-Calc. You can start AP Pre-Calc in grade 9 when you don't have so much pressure and you're ready for taking up the Calc course, then Calculus. So in grade 10 and 11, you can do AP Calculus AB and then AP Calculus BC subsequently. The benefits I've already mentioned. So if you look at those benefits, then these are some little bit of extra hard work than what that one can do and then go and proceed ahead. But if you manage your time well, in your whatever resources you have, then it is not such a difficult task to do. 1 or 2 extra courses will eventually get you earn credits or advanced placement and help your parents to save a lot of money as well. So not such a difficult work to do.
Okay. So ma'am, are AP exams only beneficial for students who are planning to study in US, or?
Very good question, and I would say this is a myth. Because APs, yes, US, mostly all the colleges and university accept the AP courses, but beyond US, Europe, UK has many institutions that accept the AP, and especially universities like Cambridge and Oxford, they look at AP. Then you have other countries in Europe who also accept the AP. Canada accepts AP a lot, and similarly there are about 120 countries that accept AP. So even if it means 1 or 2 universities, but it does. So AP is beyond US, and now Indian universities are accepting AP. You have your own Manav Rachna University that accepts AP and gives credits for courses. We have Amity University Noida also that is accepting, and also Universal AI University. And many are in pipeline. So by next year, this time, you will have many more names from the Indian side that are accepting the AP, because people are getting more and more aware about the benefits. And the universities, like Dr. Bhalla, he understands that a student who is taking an AP course in India somehow doesn't go abroad, then what is the benefit of taking course? And this is such a wonderful, rigorous course. So the universities understand that why should a student not get benefit of it? And why should a student repeat the same course again when they come to the university if they've already done it? They might as well go for internships or do some projects or do an extra major. Why should they repeat the course? So that's one of the benefits that AP has.
So ma'am, since you've mentioned India and you also handle India and South Asia, so what trends are you seeing when it comes to AP? What drives the students to, consider sitting for AP exams?
Yeah, so India, South Asia or Central Asia, the students have the same mindset all over. But yes, in South Asia, the regions are same where they go for studying abroad. So it's US, it's Europe, and now it's continuously going to be smaller European countries as well. But why a student does AP? They have very clear-cut reasoning. They want credits, they want extra placements so that they can benefit out of it, because that really means lakhs of rupees for an Indian student. So their focus is very clear. But what the parents and the counselors are looking at is holding up a skill set, having an overall a developed profile while showing AP on the transcripts.
Okay. How should universities ideally use AP scores, credit, placement, or both?
I would say both, because that's how a student is helped. But of course, it depends upon the university, and it depends upon the university's goals and objectives when they are looking at APs. So what are they looking at? Are they only looking at quality students? Because every university wants, the school toppers or quality students to come into their university, do some research, do some patents as well. So are they only looking at quality students, or are they also looking at students who can graduate early and do some other internships or do some additional project-led courses? So I would say both from our angle, but it depends upon the university. What are their objectives?
Okay. How is the AP landscape evolving in India, and what growth do you anticipate in the coming years?
So AP is increasingly being used by schools now. So earlier, I'll tell you where we started from. AP used to be a test center model because there were hardly any schools or teachers who knew about AP. But students were going to the US primarily. At that point of time, they wanted to take APs, and they wrote to College Board saying, we need test centers. We can't fly to other countries. So we, as an organization, created some test centers within the school community only, but those schools were only acting as a center where students come and take exams. Over the years, the schools have understood that why should a student do only self-study, or why should a student go to a test prep? Let me start a teaching course and let our subject teachers, because the course is the same, calculus would remain same, it's only the AP methodology and teaching methodology and the kind of format that differs. So the all subject teachers can teach AP courses also. They have to go through a mechanism. So they have an AP course audit, and then they go into a training program also, and they start teaching. But over the years, schools have started implementing teaching AP courses within the school premises. It could be within the school hours, it could be after school hours, it could be online, weekends. Many schools have different formats. Some do it free of cost, some with a nominal fee, but they have started doing that. So we are seeing adoption of AP courses within the school community, and especially the CBSE schools. But more than that, Cambridge schools, IB schools, they're also implementing it. So that's the trend, the differentiating trend that has happened in the past few years. And we have seen students opting for AP, even if they are not going to the US, even if they are going to European nations or within India as well. So that's the change that we have seen.
Okay. So ma'am, as we know, you need to prepare for AP along with your classes. So are there any separate coaching centers for studying AP, or this can be studied in schools only?
Yes. So APs can be studied by self-study mode. We have AP classrooms on the College Board website, and there are teachers who get an access to it. The teachers are supposed to do a course audit, and course audit can only be done by school teachers. So definitely AP is there in the schools. There are test centers available. I am aware of it, but students are advised to go to their own school community. But if nothing happens, and if a student really needs help, then it is absolutely their choice. But on the College Board website, they have enough resources to do a self-study course. So they have even, practice papers, videos, daily blogs are available. For the teachers, the entire classroom is available. So it's a very self-sufficient module when you talk about teaching community. So today we have a AP Teachers Workshop happening at Manav Rachna University. So these kinds of workshops also happen for the school teachers as well as test prep teachers. But beyond that, the College Board website has the entire syllabus, the entire classroom.
Ma'am, how is the AP landscape evolving in India, and what are the, what growth do you anticipate in the coming years?
So AP, to give you a background, started from a test center model, and where students asked for help because they wanted to take AP exams, but there were no centers here in India. So College Board, irrespective of schools teaching or not, we created some test centers within the school community, and students started taking the exam, because unlike US, where AP is taught within the school day, India did not have any such thing. But lately, over the years, then the school started recognizing the fact that, the students are there and these are our own students. Why should they go out, or why should they do only a self-study? If we can start teaching them, then they might get even a better score. So there are many schools in India now who have started adopting AP and started teaching them in the class environment. So from the College Board side, we give them full resources. So every school teacher, and these are free of cost resources, they do not have to spend anything on it. So they get a full College Board website access, wherein there are classrooms, there are quiz, question answers, assignments that they can forward to the students. And we often say that, a non-computer science teacher can also teach computer science in case they can access the resources fully. So that's the benefit the teachers get. And the students, even if they are doing a self-study mode, even if they are studying in a school where AP is not happening, they can still take the exam because they have the basic resources available. They have the daily blog, they have the videos, and they have Khan Academy. So through Khan Academy, they can practice a lots of questions. They can go through the content, through the entire chapter per se, and they can learn. So the student, the AP is scored on level of 5, and the qualifying score is 3. So any student who gets 3 and more is qualified to present their score to a university that accepts the AP. So yes, the landscape is changing in India. So from a test center model, we have now come into a space where we see schools adopting AP and we see students studying AP in the classroom. It could be within the timetable, within the schedule of the day, or it could be online, it could be weekends, but it's happening. And it will increase over the years.
Understood. And ma'am, one another question is that, for example, this test, I believe, was originated in the United States. So since their teaching and their curriculum, their school curriculum is a bit different from the curriculum that we follow in India. So since the curriculum we have there is much more concentrated on the practical side of the academics. And I think that what motivated the country to start the university prep earlier in the college itself, since they don't have any other exams apart from like what we have here, NEET and JEE, etc. So what motivated India to test AP here as well? What was the factor behind that we India introduced and India accepted AP as a model here?
Okay, so India, so this is a curriculum which is from the US, you're right. And there they don't see it as a admission criteria because it's a curriculum, it's not a test. For the admission criteria, they look at the SAT exams. But for the curriculum, they see AP as well. And AP can be done in the US and other countries also. And now it's happening in India as well. That within the complete national curriculum, you can adopt the thing. So if you are doing a curriculum like a US high school diploma, then you can have 2 papers of US high school diploma and 3 or 4 papers of AP, and you're done. And that's an acceptable norm there. In India, we have universities, private universities like your own Manav University that is accepting now the AP scores. And why is it happening in India is for the same reason that it's a university level course. Now think about a student who is struggling to do even a grade 11 and 12 course, and think of another student who is not only doing a grade 11 and 12 course but also doing a first year course in grade 9 or 10 or 11 or 12. So which university will not like to have that kind of a student studying in that university? So that's the reason more universities are now opening their arms and they're saying that, okay, if you have done an AP course and you want to study back in India, then this is the right place for you. That's one of the reasons.
Okay. And ma'am, it also makes me wonder, like most of the students are, very undecisive as to what they want to study in the majors. And one factor which you can take APs on is the subject that you want to study in your major. So you are allowed to, take exam for the test that you want to study in your majors, and you can choose that subject as an AP in your class 11th and 12th. What if students' mind changes? So what does the AP scores, where does it stand?
So it's a great question. We do advise students that pick up AP courses as per your undergrad requirement. But yeah, students' mind change. And usually in grade 9 and 10, they don't even know which course they are going to do a majors in. Interestingly, in India, students, the main few courses that students really like out of our 42 courses now are definitely macro and microeconomics, and then physics, physics C, magnetism, electricity, and you also have micro and macroeconomics, English, psychology, physics, chemistry, bio. So these are subjects that are there besides, the language courses and computer science principles and other stuff. Now, if a science stream student has taken an eco course, whether in grade 9 or 10 or in grade 11 or 12, it doesn't harm the student in any way. It always adds on the profile. You must have heard about STEAM now. So besides STEM, there is STEAM as well. And besides STEAM, they also want to see if a student is versatile. So if it's a bio student, or even if a physics, chemistry, math student has done eco along with that, it makes the profile even stronger. So what I want to say is there is no harm in doing anything. Yes, your credit points always add to your majors if you've done the same kind of a course, but doing an additional course always helps you in standing out in your application process. So, and these are few courses that every student does in India. So even if they do go for any other major, these are some things that will be common for a first year university program, because that's what the first year is meant for, to have some common courses there.
And Sumant, can you please help us list out what are the, for example, a student who's not very sure what they're going to study. So what are the compulsory AP exams that he or she should appear for? If he or she wishes to take an AP exam one day, but is not sure what he or she is going to study in future.
Okay. So there's no compulsory thing per se, but and interestingly, we launched 2 new courses. So one is AP Business with Personal Finance and AP Cybersecurity. So if you would have asked me this question about a year back also, I would have mentioned some other subjects. But right now, I would say that whoever is going to take up AP courses next year or in the coming years, Business with Personal Finance and Cybersecurity has to be in the list. And not just because they are interesting courses, but also because these courses do not just give you a credit or an advanced placement in the the universities that would accept them. However, they would also give you employer endorsement. So even if you are grade 9 or grade 10 students, you do not know what will you do tomorrow, but you might end up doing something related to IT. You might do something related to management. So Business with Personal Finance and Cybersecurity are good courses to have, especially if they have employer's endorsement. So in cybersecurity, I'll tell you one employer's name, IBM. Who doesn't want to join IBM? So IBM says that they are endorsing the course because they think that this will increase their talent pipeline. So I would advise these 2 courses to be absolutely at the top of the list. And then after that, like I said, students in India are doing English. In English, we have 2 kinds of exams. They can choose which one they are comfortable with. If they take 4 AP exams over the course of years also, not just in 1 year, but 9, 10, 11, 12.
I guess you're allowed to take 1 AP exam per year, right?
No, it's only calculus.
Okay.
You can take a number of courses.
Okay.
So if they take over the years 4 AP exams, 1 AP seminar and research, they also get an AP capstone diploma. So a student can map their journey accordingly so that they get an AP capstone diploma as well. So maybe they do, AP macro in 1 year, AP micro economics in the other. Similarly, AP calculus AB in 1 year, AP calculus BC in the other. Then they have a hold of maths and eco together. If it's a STEM student, can pick up physics, one of the physics courses in 1 year. Similarly, if it's a student who wants to go into psychology related courses, can pick up psychology as well. So there are 42 courses and students can pick up from there, but these are some of the famous ones.
Oh, okay. Ma'am, how do SAT and AP together support students from diverse curricula in India and international regions?
Yeah, so the SAT is a test and AP is a curriculum. So the SAT is a standardized test, and that is seen by universities. I'm sure you're aware about test required, test optional, and things like that. but most of the good universities have gone back to requiring a test, mainly because a standardized test gives them a benchmark. So, and that's the reason it's called as a standardized test. So, irrespective of their applications coming in from any part of the world, but if the students from all these countries have taken one test in common, that's the SAT. So they can know that, okay, a 1300 SAT test taker in India is similar in at least these competency levels with a 1300 test taker in Africa or somewhere else. So they can map it accordingly. So SAT helps you in admission and scholarships. AP curriculum helps you in getting credits and advanced placements. So they go both hand in hand, and you can present that on the transcript, or you can present that on your application and give it to the school. So you can get a admission, scholarship as well, and then you can also get credits or placement with the universities ready to give it to you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for these insights.
Thank you.
And you know, it was very pleasurable talking to you and learning all about AP exams.
Thank you so much. It was fun being here. Thank you.
And here's something I want to leave our viewers to think upon is, if you had an option to, achieve at least some of the things that you could have in future early in your lifetime, would you rather take it or not? So, but here at Manav Rachna, we're making it possible. We accept AP credit scores, and we are ready to welcome students who are, ready to lead and are ready to shape the future. So thank you for tuning into the Manav Rachna podcast. And if you have any thoughts and comments, please drop them into the comment section, and let's keep the conversation flowing. Until next time, stay curious, stay driven, and keep building the future you imagine. Thank you.